Hello and welcome to the Book Show on Diversity TV. I'm Ava Colopy, a writer of fiction, nonfiction, and poetry. My website and Facebook are Ava Colopy Books. These days I am living in rural Arkansas in the United States. At the moment I am in the very pleasant town of Oxford, Arkansas, a town with an official population of 670 people. Although, given the rate at which people around here have been buying pregnancy tests, I imagine they'll be growing their families pretty quick here, and that population is going to go up. Today I'm going to talk about this book, which I got out of the local Horseshoe Bend Library. Make It Work, Ancient Egypt, The Hands-On Approach to History. Now, this is a book for kids. It was published in 1995. It is not recent. What I love about this book and why I got it for my family's 11-year-old who turned out to like it. So you never know if kids will like this stuff or think it's lame until you try it. But she actually did like it. She took an interest in ancient Egypt and the mythology after they covered it in her school. So what's great about this book is it starts off like a normal history book, any normal history book. But then it very quickly gets into these projects that the kids can do, clothes they can make and other things that they can make that just brings the history more alive for them and gives them something to do with all their energy and their creativity. So it's not like the normal kind of educational stuff, which can sometimes seem very much like you just sit and you're told and you're kind of programmed with the information. This makes it a lot more interactive, and I think it really encourages a lot of their independence. As from what I've seen, the current generation is very much taught to kind of sit and wait, be told what to do, and be a bit helpless, and this encourages more independence and self-capability. So since I got back to the United States last year, and I've been living with a part of my family with 2 kids at home, I've always been encouraging them to be more independent and to be more self-capable. So when I got back, our 11-year-old seemed to think she needed help with all of her schoolwork. She really just terribly lacked confidence in that and in a lot of areas in her life. And since I got back, I've been showing her how to do things like sewing projects, or I made a pattern for a dress for one of her favorite toys and showed her how you use that, and she sewed her own dress because I taught her how to sew. I've shown her how to do other things too, like use a power drill. I was showing her one day when I was changing out a doorknob in the home how I can use the power drill and use a part on it to drill a hole bigger in the frame of the door so that the new doorknob set would fit into it, and just showing her how you don't have to wait and be helpless. You can do all these things for yourself. And that's much more how I grew up, because I grew up in an unfinished cabin in the woods in Oregon, and I did things like my brother and I went and helped our dad lay the plywood on the floor or lay the sheetrock on the walls. We were taking care of a wood fire all day, chopping the wood, drying it out, damming the sides of our creek to keep it from flooding, things like that. And it really taught you a lot of independence. Now, I know there's a sort of term, helicopter parenting, and it's an approach that's very popular these days of just hovering around the kids all the time. But a lot of times they really need to be encouraged to do more for themselves, and that's what this kind of a book does. So I'm going to tell you a funny little story. When my brother and I were about 4 and 6, we once went up the hill in the forest, as we lived in the woods, and we got lost because we went up farther than we were supposed to. We were lost, and no one knew where we were. We didn't have cell phones. We had to think our own way back to get home, and of course not tell our mother, because we would have been in very big trouble. But that kind of thing really teaches you a lot of self-reliance and self-capability. I understand, of course, you're going to worry about the kids in your family, want to protect them and keep an eye on them, but some things need to be about teaching them to look out for themselves and be more independent and be more self-reliant, and not just kind of sit there and feel helpless when they run into a problem. So I was very happy when our 11-year-old eventually, the sort of doweling in her closet, it had broken, and she figured out something else that she could use, which was actually a piece of piping. But she figured it out, and she trimmed it, and she fit it in, and then she was hanging her clothes up, and she was very happy with herself. And her confidence has gone up massively since I got here and was encouraging more of that self-reliance. And now most of the time she takes care of her own homework and her own schoolwork, and she sees that she's not incapable. She can do it for herself. So I highly recommend this book and anything like it that really encourages kids to believe in themselves and have trust and have faith in their own abilities, and really to think their way through things, to engage their minds and get them to figure out how to do things for yourself. So that's all for today. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.